Up. Great. Thanks a lot for taking the time, and thanks for inviting me. Some excellent speakers here. Excited to be here. I'll start the presentation by asking you how many people have heard of Foursquare. Hands up. That's what I like to see. Great. How many people have the app installed on their phone right now? That's great. And how many have used it in the last month? Good. That's my corner right here, I think. So what I'd like to do today is talk to you a little bit about the user proposition of Foursquare, because I think even though we're kind of an established tech brand, a lot of people might have preconceived notions that might not reflect the reality of what our app is about. And what I'd also like to do is talk to you about how businesses can use Foursquare, okay? So first of all, high-level numbers. We're at 15 million, we're approaching 20 million users globally. We have 1.5 million check-ins on our platform and about 5 million check-ins on a daily basis. We have 750,000 merchants that have claimed their locations on Foursquare. And we have more than 5,000 brands that are using Foursquare to engage with the user base. What's Foursquare about? I'm glad that everybody raised their hand when I asked if you heard of Foursquare, but I'll still give you the tagline. What we really want to do is we want to make cities easier to use. If you kind of think about that, it essentially means that we want to allow you to find your friends in the city, to discover new places, to unlock rewards and save money. So I have a couple of screenshots here of the app, but what I'd rather like to do is kind of walk you through the history of Foursquare briefly and where we've arrived. So when we started the app, Dennis, our CEO, really had some good experience from a company that he started previously called Dodgeball, where he had a similar concept where people could SMS a number and then find out if their friends are nearby and get SMS notifications when their friends were coming close to them. And he realized that people will not use the service that much if they don't have many friends on it. So what we decided from the get-go was we put some gamification elements into the application that allow people to engage with the platform, make it more sticky, right? So you could earn points, you could earn badges, and that's something that we're known for, and we kind of push the envelope on that, and I think a lot of people kind of emulated what we did there. But we kind of, for better or worse, people kind of only think of us as a checking game now, which is really far from the truth, and that's why I'm here to kind of tell you about what the value proposition for users has been, or is. So I would bucket the three kind of value propositions for users into three different buckets. One is content, one is data, and one is rewards. Content. So I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but if you check into a place, you can see the place page for that specific venue that you're visiting. And that venue page contains a lot of tips. The little tidbits that people have left behind about information about about the place that you can then use to make a judgment call about what kind of food you want to eat. Or I'll give you a tangible example. I went to this Chinese place called Wong Ki in Soho. There was a tip called the rudest, cheapest, but most delicious Chinese in Chinatown, which is quite accurate actually. And there was another tip where it said, keep the teapot open and they'll come and refill the teapot right away. And I tried that, and instantly somebody came and picked up the teapot and filled it up. Otherwise, I would have just raised my hand, asked for them to come over and fill up the teapot. But it was a great experience to see a little bit of tidbit, a little bit of knowledge that was somebody left behind that actually worked, right? So this is really cool content that's on the platform, and I encourage you to look at that. And brands can use this too, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. The other data point or bucket of interesting content or interesting value for a user is data. So the reality right now is if we all pull out our phones and use our preferred local search right now, we would all probably get the same results in terms of for the term restaurants, right? And we feel that's really kind of antiquated. The results should be based on your preferences and your behavior and your interests. And what we do essentially is we look at where your friends have checked in and where you've checked in to give you more personalized results. So I really like Japanese restaurants. When I go to a city that I don't know and I search for restaurants, the restaurants that show on top are usually Japanese restaurants. And if I feel like a Thai restaurant, then I'll type in Thai restaurant. But if I generally search for restaurants, then the ones that I prefer show up at the top, right? And this is really cool because not only can I see personalized results, but I can also see where my friends have been. So I went to Le Web in Paris, for instance, and saw that 3 of my friends that don't know each other at all actually all checked into this bar. And that was a good indicator for me that the bar was probably worth checking out, right? So that was a great experience, and I feel a lot of us can take advantage of that kind of data. We know that having 1.5 billion check-ins in our platform has a lot more value than we're currently exposing. I think we really want to get better at telling you, hey, what's the most popular place on a Friday night in East London if you want to go out, right? In the category bars. We can tell you that information. We have that information based on people's check-in history, right? And I think you'll see us showing you more of that value more and more in the future. But in the meantime, please try out Explore, which is the tab on the app that you should have a look at, which contains all these personalized results. And the third thing is rewards. Rewards are essentially little mobile coupons that we call specials or special experiences that merchants can upload to help you save money, right? And I'll talk about those a little bit more in the business section. So that's the kind of high level of the rewards or the value that we try to give back to your users on the platform, and I feel that anyone who raised their hand and said they have their app installed should know those and should try those out. So do me a favor and check out the app later on. I'll have a sip. As a brand or a business, there are a number of things that you can do on the platform, and I have them all specified here, and I'll walk through those. So it's claiming your venues, it's running specials, it's uploading, creating a page, uploading tips and lists to that page, doing batch campaigns, and using the Save to Foursquare button and the Foursquare API. FYI, all this is for free, apart from the batch campaigns. So all the tools that I'm going to talk about are completely for free for brands and businesses to use. Let's talk a little bit about the merchant platform. So there's 30 million points of interest in the Foursquare database, all user generated. Benefit of that is you get most up-to-date points of interest because people are constantly updating. And if there's a new restaurant opening, somebody's going to go there, somebody's going to create the point of interest and check in. The drawback is my desk in my office is a point of interest, right? That I'm the mayor of, for instance, right? This is kind of the fun element that we like on our platform, but that place is probably not so popular to show up in your search when you're looking for a restaurant, right? So we have this element that there are a lot of interesting points of interest on our platform that might not be interesting to everybody, but might be interesting to individuals. Well, so I said 750,000 businesses have claimed their locations. What does that really mean? That means that they've gone into our platform and said, hey, these 3,000 locations, let's say Tesco for instance, are places that we own. And we want to have access to manager rights for these places. And we give that to them. What they can do then is give us an accurate reflection of all their points of interest in the UK. Maybe they want to add some points of interest that are missing. Maybe they want to delete some duplicates, etc. It's all possible. And then you can put up descriptions, put your Twitter handle in there, etc. The other great thing, and I think this is really super exciting, is that we can give away statistics to the brands that own their location about how many people are checking in, what times a day are they checking in, what times of the day are they checking, what times of the week are they checking in, how many people are sharing their check-in to Twitter or Facebook. What's the male-female breakdown? What's the demo breakdown in terms of age group? The mayor is also going to be shown in the dashboard. The mayor is the person that checks in the most into any given location, by the way. And then also your top 10 customers, right? This is really valuable data, and you can download that in an Excel spreadsheet, slice it and dice it, and do whatever you want with them. The other benefit is what I was referring to is specials campaigns. You can set those up like AdWords campaigns are run. You can select a couple of stores that you want to run a specific special in. When you see there's a store that really needs more people to come through the door, you can use a special to kind of entice that footfall. Or you could think, I want to reward really loyal customers and use the specials in that way. This is kind of the funnel of different specials that we have. I'll give you a couple of examples for those. For instance, the newbie special is only for the very first time you check into a store, you unlock that, right? So I think Sophie's Steakhouse in Soho has a newbie special. If you check in, you get a free glass of red wine or house wine, that is, which is pretty cool. You just go there, have your steak, and get a nice free glass of wine. Friends special, bring 3 or 4 of your friends with you to unlock a specific special, right? Flash special. first 20 people